Hello, everyone. So, I suppose everybody has seen the photo that I'm going to talk about here, but particularly to do with Galway Institute at the moment, to do with the food bank, particularly. Now, the photo in question, I'm sure you can see it's all over social media. It's gone viral on social media, and particularly on Twitter. That, particularly in this food bank in Galway, they have to turn around students because there's so many students looking for food. And you might be asking, what's the problem there? Now, the first problem is, of course, this shouldn't be happening in the first world country. The first students will have to go looking for food and begging for food in a lot of cases. But the other problem is there's so many people that were foreign nationals, the wooden Irish citizens that were looking for food. And the thing I'm asking, and the thing we should do in any country, and this is just for any country, even for Irish students if they're going abroad, the first thing that should be done is, what is your financial status? Can you afford to come here and pay the basic stuff? Because this is the basic food and stuff like that should be the basic. It's out of your own pocket. You should have to pay for. Whatever about the college fees and stuff for foreign national. The Irish state is willing maybe to cover 5% of it. Of course, the European Union are paying hugely for it, etc. But at most it should be only 5% we will cover. And of course, for Irish students, it should be free. Let's be fair, it should be free in this day and age for Irish students. It is the same in Finland and it's the same in Norway and Sweden, etc. for their own citizens, and rightly so because they're paying heavy taxes. And the same in this country, they're paying heavy taxes. And again, the majority of Irish students, as soon as they forget their degree, they're off to Australia because the government doesn't give a damn about them. But this is the thing for foreign exchange students, particularly when you see them out of them in that picture. They shouldn't be coming here unless they have the financial status to come here. What I mean by that is they're able to kind of look after themselves, even just barely, but in a lot of cases they're not. They're coming here on European grants and basically just plocked here, and the Irish state has to pay for them. And it's not fair on Irish citizens. Let's be fair, it isn't fair. And I would say the same for an Irish citizen if they were going studying in, say, the Czech Republic or in Hungary or in Romania, wherever they were going to study, an Irish citizen. I would say the same. If they're not able to pay for themselves, the Romanian government should not be paying for them. The Hungarian government should not be paying for them. The Czech government should not be paying for an Irish citizen. They should be paying for their own citizen, but they shouldn't be looking after an Irish citizen, etc. If they can't look after themselves, then that's their own problem. They should come back into their own go back to Ireland if an Irish citizen done that. But this is the thing. The sheer numbers of people that came in last year on student visas was 60k, just to say more than France and Germany. And for such a small country like Ireland, as you know too, if you even look up 5 minutes, the amount of people, students, Irish students, that can't get accommodation, student accommodation, to have to travel miles and miles and miles, up and down on buses to get to college and back because simply the college student accommodation is non-existent. And the rent of the market, as you know, is just a scam for people. And of course, Irish students are suffering heavily. There's so many Irish students I know from County Cavan. If you look up Cavan on the map, a lot of students have to go up and down to Dublin on the bus every day of the week, and it's draining for them because they could get student accommodation in Dublin, but the majority of it's used for direct provision. The majority of it's used for it's nonsense pretty much, and a lot of it's the cost of the moon and the earth and the stars. But this is the thing. As I said, any person that's coming here should have the financial status looked at, because how do we know a lot of these people too are not they're not genuine people? Because in a lot of cases too, a lot of them would be coming from abroad, say for example from other countries, and their fathers could be multi-millionaires, etc. And they're looking for money in the Irish state basically, and these people probably could buy the university. Let's put it that way. But it's not fair. It isn't fair. It's not fair on the Irish students and Irish citizens too to have to pay for it, because they're the people who have to pay for it. And there's so many people I know who are struggling. There's families I know of with 2 or 3 children and a parent and a father, and they're going out working full time, and they're struggling to pay the rent, they're struggling to pay the bills, they're struggling to put food on the table, and the government's nowhere to be found to help them because again, the majority of cases is because the Irish people, the Irish government hates their own people pretty much in a lot of cases. But we see this across the country to the matter of homelessness, etc. People are starving on the streets. And again, this is like the third world pretty much Ireland has turned into. But, we shouldn't be taking in people, and again, going back to my point, because I'm going on a tangent here, but going back to my point, it's the same for anything. Like, say, for example, for a lot of people who are on carers allowance, I know a good few people who actually look after their mother, their sickly mother, the elderly mother, and they didn't get carers allowance by just clicking their finger. They came out and looked and see what they had before they give them a care allowance, to see how much money they had, and they wanted to see their bank statements, they wanted to see everything before they give them a penny. And this is Irish people just to say too. But that's what I'm saying, the state can be told when it wants to be told. And the same with the revenue. If you own the revenue, if you Bob, they're going to come after you for it. But this is the thing, they should really, really look into people's finances when they come here, because it should be only people that can provide the basics in terms of food, And in the majority of the case, I don't mind the Irish government covering the bit, but definitely there shouldn't be 60,000 people coming here a year student studies. Shouldn't be. At most, maybe 10,000. Maybe we can even put 30,000, but that should be the limit. 30,000 should be the limit, no more after that. Because we simply don't have the resources. Like, why would you bring in more people to overstretch resources? Because that's pretty much what they're doing. And we're willingly doing it. Because again, the Irish government can say, no, we won't take it. Because again, we could do it, because it's as simple as that. We can, because we have the ability to do it if we wanted to do it. But I do think it's something that is not fair. It isn't fair on the Irish students. It isn't fair on the students coming over here to come over here and live in poverty too in a lot of cases. But it isn't fair, because it isn't fair on them, because it's not fair to bring them over here to go begging for food and stuff. It isn't fair, and it isn't right that they're here in the first place, because the Irish state should have looked to see, can they afford to stay in this country. And I would say that, and I even say, and again, it goes both ways. It goes for the Irish people in other countries. No government should be paying for an Irish person, regardless of where you are. You have no entitlement in any country, just to say. And I say this, we've seen the case of Seamus in America and stuff. He was there 16 years, he's overstayed his visa. I would just say that to any Irish citizen, if you're causing any guff to any government, regardless of what government it is, they can send you home straight away. They should send you home straight away. And if you won't pay for your way, and this should be the thing, I've said this too to the few Finnish people too, because the Finnish government brought in, if you don't work or do something within 3 months, you get deported, and rightly so, and I agree with that. But it should be the same here. If you don't do something within 3 months, you're going home. But it's the same, it should go for Irish people, because they excluded European citizens, and it's not fair if an Irish citizen's not getting social wealth from the Finnish state. They shouldn't be doing. No Irish citizen in any country should be getting it, apart from their own country. That's the only country that's entitled to it. And that's just saying, I'm very strict about that, and that should be the way, because we don't want Irish people going over begging other governments for the money that belongs to their people. Because again, the Finnish government should be looking after their people, not looking after our own people, Irish people. Because again, you have to go and work for your money, and simple as that. That's the way I see it for Irish people. And it's strict, but it has to be strict, because we can't have people using other people's countries. It's simple as that. And the same goes for Ireland, because there's people coming here and abusing our country. And it's simple as that. And I would say the same. It's not just I'm excluding Irish people. I'm the same. It works both ways. And everything in life, it works both ways. And that's just my advice to Irish people too. If you're going abroad to study, make sure you have the money to pay for it, out of your own pocket, or take a loan or whatever. But don't be going asking their government to look after you, whatever government it is. And I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable. That's not much of a request. If they allow you to go and study in the country, that's all you need to ask them. Can I come and study in your country? And if they say yes, then if they say no, then no. But yeah, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more, and bye.